tradition where, kids are stopped from like their mischief all throughout the year. But on Mahashivratri, if the kids are like throwing stones at someone's house, it's okay because it'll keep them awake and they're doing them a favor. So I mean, just a little, just little anecdotes and little old stories. But yes, that is what that is how much they have this importance. And so just to kind of stay awake, people are in celebration and prayer, and the thoughts you think manifest, right? So now I'm going to talk about Shiva and who Shiva is. In the Vedic tradition, and again, when we're talking about this, we're not talking about anything religious. We're talking about an energy in the universe that we're tapping into. But of course, since this is, the base, I'm going to talk about the actual essence of Shiva. So the three primordial gods, Brahma was the one that created the universe. Vishnu is the one that is the preserver of the universe. And Vishnu comes in many incarnations. He came as Ram, he came as Krishna, many different incarnations to preserve the universe from time to time when things went wrong. And Shiva is known as the bringer of change, or the destroyer, or the resurrector. So in that sense, Shiva brings the energy of death and rebirth and resurrection. And the rebirth that's happening around this time before the spring equinox is why his energies are very potent around this time. Okay. So now what does Shiva mean? Shiva, literally, the word Shiva means that which is not. Shiva means the nothingness from which everything is born. If you're familiar with the Big Bang Theory, there was nothingness before light came in. So now every time we talk about light has a source. So light usually has a source. So we turn on the light and then it burns out, like even sun as the ball of fire, even sun has its expiry date. So the light source always has, light is sourced from something and there is an end to it, but there is no end to darkness, because it is through the darkness through which everything is born, including the light and everything else. So that is the essence of Shiva. And Shiva also represents the divine masculine in its epitome form. So we have spoken about the divine masculine and divine feminine quite a bit. If you've been following me, we have spoken about how the age of the Aquarius that was brought in by the 0-degree Saturn-Jupiter conjunction around the equinox brought in the age of the Aquarius. And there was a lot of uprising of the divine feminine. And what that meant is that old, very masculine, old structures were broken, and people were more into their flow, into their element, and more accepting of things which they that are more aligned to their heart, because with Aquarius coming in, there is not going to be too much tolerance of hierarchy, and it is all about the age of oneness, right? So we talked about the divine feminine a lot. So this time we're going to talk about the divine masculine. And again, we're not talking about man, woman. We're talking about the energy that's inside all of us, and it is only to the through the blending of the divine masculine and feminine energies that we create a balance within ourselves, right? So if there is any which is imbalance, we're trying to create the balance here. So Shiva literally represents the body with life and motion. Shiva is the masculine, the structure within which Shakti, which is lightning or flow, does her dance. So it is the creation of the structure. That is what Shiva represents. So in that sense, he represents the seed of life, the DNA, and the potential of all-encompassing life. And as we activate our Shiva, or our divine masculine within us, it helps us bring in our creation into this material plane and manifest it. Because when we think, all manifestation happens in 3 steps. We think about it, we speak about it, we do it, very simple example. You think you're hungry, you order Thai food and you're eating it, right? So that is the simplest form of manifestation. So manifestation happens when the element of air is brought into the element of earth, and structure is created out of it, the physical form. And in that sense, that is what Shiva represents, the discipline of your physical form. Because we can have many ideas, but if we are not anchored into the earth, then we're not manifesting it and bringing it into the physical plane. So that is the essence of Shiva, in the simplest form that I can explain it. Okay, and there is so much more to it, but I have 1 hour and I have to do the meditation as well. So I'm going to keep it short. We will talk much more about many more in depth of Shiva. I feel like this is not a one-time thing. This is going to be a series, right? Okay. So now, what are the 3 specific things that this time helps with manifestation? So of course, all of your wishes, anything that you are thinking about, where this is going to help you manifest that. However, there's 3 specific things that, according to the Vedas, are very potent when it comes to manifesting. Anything to do with partnership, because this is the day in which Shiva and Shakti were married. Again, mythology and storytelling is a form of informing our conscious. So this is the day on which the divine masculine and the divine feminine came into union. And as such, it is a great day to either manifest a partner, or if you're having any difficulties in a partnership, to help resolve that. So you can ask Shiva. A lot of times when we do a ritual, there is the potency of, after the ritual, you're going to ask for, what it is that you like, when you've pleased the deity. And then the other thing is career growth, because it is about physical manifestation of stuff in the material plane. And that is why that is a great ask as well. And then the other important thing that helps manifest this time is, of course, spiritual involvement. So that is because Shiva has already is known as the Adiyogi, the person who first achieved spiritual enlightenment in its highest form, and therefore he's known as the Adiyogi. So now, what does the Adiyogi mean? Adiyogi literally means the first yogi ever. For all of those of you who are into yoga or practice it, this is the Shiva is the one who brought it into the physical plane of earth, or so it is said. So there is, now we're going to talk about his qualities and the Adiyogi's qualities. So the moon, and again, I'm talking about the moon because very soon I'm going to talk about a little bit about the new moon in Pisces that's coming up, because it's all linked. It is the time that we're talking about, the time and why this time is so potent. So the moon on Shiva's forehead is always represented with a little new moon out there, if you can see right here. So the moon on Shiva's forehead is basically depicting nature as it ebbs and flows. The waxing and the waning of the moon was used to calculate time in ancient times. So it is literally time. And as he's wearing the moon, what he's resembling it, that he has mastered time, in the sense that, what is the moon? The moon in astrology represents our emotions, which are always ebbing and flowing. And when we learn to balance, and I don't want to use the word control because it just sounds, but literally balance our mind and not allow it to kind of go in whatever direction it wants, to do whatever it wants. So through discipline, which is basically yoga, you're balancing the mind, and it represents the ebb and the flow being balanced and being controlled. And that is the discipline that we're talking about, because when we are in balance, then we see everything from a center perspective. When you're too much in the light, you have a distorted version of the darkness. When you're too much in the darkness, you have a distorted version of light. But being in balance and being in the center is what gives you a very potent overview of both sides, a very clear overview of both sides. So now let's talk a little bit about this new moon in Pisces and the astrology of the new moon in Pisces, right? So now Pisces, of course, is about resurrection, death, and rebirth, for those of you who are familiar with the energies of Pisces. So again, no coincidence that we're talking about resurrection that Shiva brings. That which is destroyed will be reborn and recreated in new form. It is only when you allow that needs to go will it make space, and can the universe then have space to send you something new. The cosmos is ever changing, and destruction will lead to new creation. So why is Shiva's energies potent at this time? We all know that we're in the brink of a new age and a new era. So Shiva is here to help cleanse the old, and therefore his energies are not just limited to a certain region, a certain area. We're talking about this energy of transformation that's coming into the universe that is helping fight this battle. And that therefore he, we needed to speak about him, and he decided to speak to us. So what is happening with this new moon is it is at 13 degrees. Now, 13 is the number or the theme of the divine feminine. There's 13, moon cycles in the year. So literally there is the element of the divine feminine in here through the resurrection, balanced by the energies of Shiva and the divine masculine. Another thing happening in this new moon is it's conjunct Neptune and it's conjunct Venus. So there is so much energy of the divine feminine in here because Neptune is all about inspiration, spiritual growth, connecting to the divine, and Venus is all about the feminine flow. But at the same time, what this new moon is bringing is it is literally resurrection, because we've all been through very, very heavy times throughout this period of December to March, and now it is literally talking about how to be in the flow, like making the simplest activities meditative. Like everything's going to feel beautiful around the time of this new moon. Literally, that's what it's saying, because Pisces bringing in the energy of conjuncting Neptune and Venus, like that is, as beautiful and feminine and flowy as it can get. So it's a great time to work with that type of energy. And so here's the thing that I wanted to specify about the paradox, right? We think that it is only when we take action that the things we want to manifest will manifest. So we keep taking action within the parameters of our thought process, of our limited thought process, which we think will help manifest. What this new moon is telling us to do is to be in surrender. So of course manifest, of course make your plans, of course be specific about your manifestation, because those are the laws of the process of manifestation. However, what it's saying is that please, at the end of the day, if you receiving is just as important, allow yourself to receive. When we are in our feminine, we are not thinking about what to do, but we're just being, and we're in a place of receiving and in a place of surrender. And it is through this place of surrender and love and simplicity that you are basically completely present in your soul. And then you get everything you're looking for, everything that the ego wanted to get anyway. So there is that piece to manifestation that a lot of people miss out on. That yes, I have made all of my I have created my manifestation plan, but now what? Now I'm going to surrender and trust the universe that it is going to bring me everything I have manifested, and not add the energy of fear into that manifestation, because then that will affect the manifestation, right? So that is the energy this new moon is bringing, and that is the energy that the new moon is talking about, the energy of surrender and the energy of flow. Okay. Now I'm going to talk a little more before we go into the meditation, because when Shiva came to me about doing this particular event, he asked me to speak about very specific things in this one. Not all the things that he represents, but specific things. And the third eye was one of them. So the third eye is a symbol of insight and knowledge. So what it is talking about is our two eyes that view the world are only seeing the material world, and they can get confused from time to time because they're only going to believe what they see. But when we look from our third eye, when we look from our center, when we look from our inside, that is the place where we see the truth the way it is. So from a very yogic point of view, the third eye, it is our pineal gland, and Shiva is always represented. The worship of Shiva helps open the third eye. It is a very well-known fact. So he can bring spiritual insight to you because, of course, he is the master of the yogic knowledge. And then in scientific terms, our pineal gland helps us generate melatonin, which helps us rest and have restful sleep, and serotonin, which helps us feel good and have a healthy, balanced mind. So when we activate our third eye, it actually helps us process our emotions correctly, and that's how we control the moon. which is our motion. Right, so that is something that he wanted to bring up. And now I'm going to go very quickly into the ritual before we start the meditation, because this is Mahashivratri, so I am going to honor the process and do a very mini ritual here for those of you. I have the picture. Let me just bring it a little closer. I have the picture of Shiva and Shakti in their form, in their very complete form, with their two sons, Ganesh and Kartikeya. I have Ganesh over here, of course, and I have the different things. So the few things that we need for any Vedic ritual is we always need a lamp lit with ghee, pure ghee. So we have that. So the element of fire. In this case, we have the panchamrit, or the sweetened milk, which we're going to put on the Shiva Linga, which represents the element of water. We have like a crystal, which represents the element of earth, and there is Kailash. Kailash is always a copper filled a copper jug filled with a Ganga jal, which is the pure water from the Ganges, and we have the flower representing earth again, and the offering for the deity. And the element of air is represented by the incense, and these are the elements that are part of the ritual. So the Shiva Lingam is actually known as the representation of the divine masculine. So in a lot of Indian temples, when you go, you will see the Shiva Lingam always around Lord Shiva, and it's usually either black or made of clear quartz. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to do the offering, and as I do the offering, I'm actually going to play the chant Om Namah Shivaya, which is the chant where we revere Shiva. So let's see if I can go into Zoom now. Okay. Let's start my chant here. So start getting in a relaxed meditative state, and as soon as we're done with the ritual and offering him and welcoming Shiva, we're going to go into our meditation. At this point in time, I would like to call in the energies of the four elements, the four directions. And as we honor our ancestors, I call in the energies of Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. I will start by offering Panchamrit to the Shivling, bathing it into. Start by offering the flower, offering the diya, anointing Ganesha, Shiva, Shakti, and Kartikeya with sandalwood. And red kumkum, which represents, red kumkum is usually put at the top of the third eye, represents the opening of the third eye. As I put the kumkum, and this is why you will see a red dot. Every time we start a Vedic ritual, we always start with offering and anointing Lord Ganesha, because he was given a blessing that he will always be remembered first. in any ritual. Vakratundya Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighnan Kuru Me Devam Sarvakaryashu Sarvada. And now we're going to go on a little journey. I'm going to start by sharing my screen again. So as I take you on this journey, I want you to be able to see the visual of Mount Kailash. I was guided to take you on a sacred journey to Mount Kailash today. So let me tell you a little bit about Mount Kailash. This is in the northern part of India, which borders China, and it is considered a sacred mountain, a sacred abode of Shiva. This mountain's texture is very unique. All of the surrounding area, the mountains are brown rock, but this specific mountain's rock is completely different. This mountain is commonly known as the receptor or the crown center of Gaia. Just the way we have acupressure points in our body, Gaia has her own power centers. And being the crown center is known as the receptor of receiving cosmic energies into the earth. There's a lot of people that go on the journey to climb the mountain, but although it is about 1,000 meters lesser in height than Everest, much less people can actually climb the mountain. There's also I'm going to give you a visual of the aerial view of Mount Kailash over here, where we're about to go on our journey. So make sure you are in a quiet space, ensure your spine is straight and you're still very relaxed. And let's go on this sacred journey. Close your eyes, take in a deep breath. Drop your consciousness from your brain into your heart space. And through your heart space, and through your third eye, feel your third eye open. Focus all your energies on your third eye right now. And as your third eye opens, you see a visual of this mountain in front of you. Mount Kailash. A beautiful snow-clad mountain that resembles the receptor of Gaia. You're at the very top of Gaia, receiving all the beautiful energies that this brings. As you are walking past streams and mountains through this vast openness, you eventually, the mountain comes into sight. The closer you get to it, the mountain comes and feels bigger and bigger as you walk further. Take a look at the very top of the mountain, at the very peak of the mountain. Connect your energies to the very peak of this mountain. It is said that at the very top of this mountain is where Shiva sits with Goddess Shakti. Send your energies to the very top of the mountain and feel as though you are right there now. As you hear the sounds of the chants of Shiva, as you connect to this region, we now feel Shiva's presence in our very vicinity. And we're going further and further atop the mountain. Climbing more and more. We're so close. We feel the energy shift completely. We feel the sacredness of this land, the clouds around us, the quietness. And as you climb further, you feel the very empty space around you. And now, as you walk just a little further, right in front of your eyes, you see a bright light, a light that is so bright that it blinds you. And through this flashing light, you feel and see the presence of Shiva himself in all of his glory and presence. With Mother Shakti by his left, both with hands in blessing pose. Please that you are here dedicating this time to him and asking you, what are your wishes? Put your wishes and I will help fulfill them. Through Shiva's very presence, you come into your center. You feel the left side of your body representing the feminine and the right side of the body representing your masculine. Come closer and closer to each other. Emerge into your very center. And as you are completely in your center now, and very much aligned to your heart space, aligned to that God spark in the very center of your heart. And through this heart space, and present it in front of Lord Shiva. And as soon as you put it there, Shiva and Shakti bless this wish, and it starts expanding, becoming bigger and bigger until it becomes reality. See it in its full form, full color, texture, and size, every detail. Take this wish, send it into the clouds, and allow the clouds to wrap their light around them, knowing that it is now secure in the astral plane, already manifesting in the womb of that cloud. Come back to your heart space, into your sacred light spark. And through this heart space, take your hand, take your next wish, and put it out in front of Shiva. See Shiva and Shakti bless this wish with all of the earth energies that are needed to manifest it. And see it grow and expand into its full-blown size. Once again, feel how you feel when you have received this. Let go of any fear, because there is no place for fear when Shiva is here, for he is shielding your wishes. Just allow it to grow and expand, and feel it and sense it. And what does it look like when it's fully manifested? How do you feel now that you have achieved it? What will you do with it next once you have it? Imagine all the little details, everybody that's supposed to be a part of it, every item, every person, all the colors, the textures. Let your imagination go wild. There are no limitations to what you can achieve once you put your mind to it. Allow the will of the universe to add to your will. Be in alignment with divine will, for we are co-creators and we are here to create in and with accordance to divine will. And as you manifest your wish in the universe, creation happens that helps progress in the entire universe. So the universe backs your wish, because you are bringing to fruition that which only mankind can in the realm of action. Let Shiva inspire you to create what you need to create, for that is what you are here to do. We are the creators. We are the ones we have been waiting for. No more delay. No more procrastinating. No more excuses. Simply be. And as you are being yourself, allow yourself to receive the blessings, the energies this universe is sending. That is allowing your manifestation to grow and expand. And now we're going to take this full form of creation and send it into the clouds, knowing that the clouds are going to protect it, and knowing that it is already materialized in the astral plane. And as Shiva blesses these clouds and gives his protection on it, you know that no matter what comes in your way, it doesn't matter what you experience after today, that manifestation is already in progress. There are many ways that will lead you from where you are now to the path that leads to those clouds. It doesn't matter if one road is blocked, there are many others, and your manifestation is protected by Shiva himself. Now we bow down and thank Shiva for his beautiful energies. We ask him to allow us to stay in our centers. We ask him for the gift of opening our third eye more and more, so we can clearly envision our future, our manifestations. Knowing that we're always shielded and protected by the ultimate divine masculine, and there is absolutely no need or room for any fears. We also ask Shiva to help us with the control of the mind, this physical mind. We allow it to go through the ebb and flow of its emotions. And as we allow our emotions to speak to us and we acknowledge them and release them, we then come into our complete center. And when we go back, we ask him to always guide us to walk through this place of the center, so we may always have sight of the truth the way it is. We now once again get in touch with our God spark in the very center of our hearts. And we allow this spark to expand, big enough to cover our entire bodies. And Another deep breath in and allow your God spark to extend as far as your auric field, 6 inches around you in every direction. Another deep breath in, and we allow this God spark to expand so far that it can reach where Shiva and Shakti are sitting in front of us. And we allow our God spark to merge with the God spark of Shiva and Shakti. And as it merges, and as he sends his rays of blessings towards us, we feel these rays going straight into our heart, allowing the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us to merge, intertwine as it does its dance, and willfully, beautifully, gracefully, and completely merge. Taking a deep breath and taking these energies, let them infuse you. And as they get infused, you can feel that you are now in your center. Your Kundalini rises from your root, coming up, releasing every blockage as it rises from the root, from the sacral, releasing any blockage from the solar plexus, any leftover fears, rising into your heart space, opening your heart, because we only manifest from our hearts, not our heads. Rising into the throat and releasing any blockages from the throat so it can go further into our pineal gland. Going into the third eye, opening the curtain of the third eye. So, and then going up the crown, coming out of the crown and then going straight, connecting to the sun and to the great central sun. Allowing Father Sun's energies to come bless you, going straight into your crown, releasing from your brain's receptors any old patterns that do not serve, any fears from your neurons, any self-sabotage, releasing everything that does not serve and allowing your brain to be filled with this pure divine light. And as it is flooded with this light, everything that does not belong there starts releasing. Taking a deep breath, allow this DNA activation to occur. Accept the energies that Shiva and Shakti are sending you. Once again, drop your consciousness into your heart space. And this time, just stay within that space. The space of Ananda, the space of bliss, the space of pure joy, in the knowing that in this space all is always well. The space of all creation, the space where all creation begins. And knowing that now you have experienced this space, you have this energy of creation within you, and it is anchored in today. Take in another deep breath and slowly and gently start coming into your body. Send this energy into every cell, every DNA particle, every bone, every muscle. Feel it, infuse it, and gently start coming back into your body, into the present moment, thanking Shiva and Shakti for their help. Come back into your room now, knowing that you can go back to this space anytime you like, and Shiva will always be there for you as you call upon him. Gently start coming back now. Thank you everyone for being with us today and experiencing this beautiful ritual. Remember that this energy continues through tonight. Mahashivratri literally means, Ratri means night. So just wanted to leave you my information here, letting you know that we will have more information and more such knowledge sharing sessions on Shiva and Shakti. And I'm going to leave you in this beautiful space so you can continue with your experiences. Happy Mahashivratri. Remember the chant Om Namah Shivaya invokes his energies. I'm going to chant that 3 times as I close this circle. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We now release the 4 directions and the 4 elements and ask our personal guides to stay with us if they choose. The circle is now closed. Thank you everyone for attending. Have a beautiful rest of your evening.